I've helped generate over $1.8 billion in e-commerce revenue with Facebook ads. In this video, I'm going to show you live exactly how I launch and scale an ad account from scratch to 100,000. So if you're a brand doing 0 to 10K a month in e-com and you've been scared to touch Facebook ads, this is the only video you need. Let's get into it. So I'm going to share my screen and bring you through the 3 campaigns you need to get to 100K. So before you can scale anything, you need to know what to scale. Most beginners skip this and just throw money at random campaigns and ads with no structure at all. This is how you burn cash. So to start, we're going to build the first campaign I recommend, which is a testing campaign. So here we are in an account. This is one of my coaching clients, one of my new mentorship clients, and they literally had never launched an ad before. So you'll see here, they only have 1 campaign until, look at last month, there was no spend. This is the first month they have spend, and I've already built their testing campaign here, which is the first campaign I recommend for all new e-commerce brands, an ABO testing campaign. And so this is how you're going to set it up. I name it always the country, then what type of campaign is it? And testing is not necessarily the right name. It's a testing and scaling campaign. I think I might be changing my official name on that. Then highest volume bidding. I always recommend highest volume bidding, especially for beginners. That is just auto bidding. And again, this is going to be an ABO campaign. And so you'll see budget strategy, choose ad set budget. That's what ABO stands for. That's what you're going to want. It's going to be an ABO campaign, and it's going to be broad open targeting. So you can just leave the advantage plus audience on, no exclusions, let it kind of run free. We basically want to give Meta a completely open audience to find what ad is going to work. And as you can see here, each ad is a distinct test. You can start with 1 ad per ad set, and I typically recommend 1 to 4 max ads per ad set. For this specific brand, they have great Instagram content, so we launched individual ads in each ad set to test them by themselves, and we've gotten some decent results already. This one's at almost a 5 ROAS. See, some of these haven't gotten any purchases yet. This one's got 1 purchase. So again, this is the testing phase, and as you can see here, I started these budgets at $25 a day per ad set. That's the minimum I recommend, $50 max. If you're a brand new brand, I typically recommend starting smaller at $25 a day per ad set. And you're gonna wanna run them minimum 3 days before making any kill decisions. It's either 3 days typically, or 3x your CPA goal. Meaning if your CPA goal was $20, then you would run it to $60, right? You give it 3x your CPA goal. And if there's no purchases after that, you're gonna pause it out, right? So that's why the smaller budgets actually can give you a little bit more leeway and give the more time to find buyers. So the CPA goal for this brand is $50, and so you'll see we haven't got to $150 yet. I'm gonna run it to 3x the CPA goal. So these ones aren't looking good. These hit 150 and we have no purchases, we're gonna pause it. This one hits 150 and only has 1 purchase, we're gonna pause it, right? So technically we're 1 for 4 with winners on a winning ad. And again, a true winner is at least 7 days above the ROAS goal, below the CPA goal. So again, this one will have to last 7 days, and then it will be considered a winner. And then we will start scaling this ad inside the testing campaign, and then we'll continue to test to get at least 1 more winner before we launch our scaling campaign. And so biggest misconception is that you cannot scale in your testing campaign, that once you find a winner, you should pause it out and then launch it in your winners campaign. That's not the case. I scale so hard in testing campaigns. I've literally spent 100K on single ads and testing campaigns. So the name, like I said, is a bad name. I'm gonna start calling them testing and scaling campaigns, a test and scale campaign actually. And last year, the biggest mistake new brands make with testing is testing with too big of budgets and blowing all their money and then thinking meta ads don't work, or it's making your creatives too similar. Like, you need differentiated creatives to really give the algorithm something new and the ability to hit new users. If all your creatives are like literally the same, you're gonna be probably going after the same people and not hitting any new pools of people. So it's really important in the early days to make different creative so the algorithm can find those new people. So I typically recommend like a founders creative, us versus them creative, a POV product breakdown video, which could be literally holding up a product talking about it, or a value prop static, which could be the image of the product with like value props on the side kind of explaining it, right? Also, us versus them can be a video, or the us versus them can be a static image ad. So these are like the 4 typical ads I recommend you run in the beginning as a new brand, and you typically will find a winner when you test one of those 4 ads. It could all be winners actually. I've seen it happen. So yeah, that is the testing campaign. And now we're gonna move on to the Advantage Plus winners campaign. We only have 1 so far that's looking like to be a winning ad, but I'm just gonna build out the winners campaign as a draft here so so you guys can see exactly how it's built. And so once you have that winning ad, you're gonna build an Advantage Plus or ASC winners campaign. So here's how you're gonna do it. You're gonna hit create sales, always sales campaigns. Call it US prospecting, just call it winners. Volume. You can also do, I like to do that as well. And then Advantage Plus winners broad, and then all, I typically put the creative type here. So we're gonna run all types of creative in here. So again, website, we're gonna maximize number of conversions, purchase as always. And again, on this one specifically, we're going to have a campaign budget because this is gonna be a single ad set CBO campaign, meaning the budget's gonna be at the campaign level, and then we're gonna throw all the winning ads into this single ad set and then let the algorithm choose between all the winning ads. And so you're gonna be able to do up to 50 creatives per ad set. Typically what I'll do, sometimes I'll let two, once we run out of 50, we'll launch a new ad set and let them run side by side. But typically I only like to have one ad set live. But again, if there's bangers in the first ad set still working, but we're capped, then launching the new ad set is fine. So one other thing, when graduating winners, you're going to want to take the post ID. You can keep the engagement. So how you're going to do that is going here, and this is the post ID right there. So you're going to copy that, and you would go into here, create ad, then you hit existing post, and then boom, that is how you get the existing post, and you see the engagement is saved there. Another reminder, a winning ad is an ad that has been at your CPA goal or ROAS goal minimum 7 days. Not 2 days, not 4 days, 7 days. If it hasn't proven itself for at least a week, do not throw it in there. And the scale rule for the Advantage Plus winners campaign is typically if it's hitting at your ROAS goal, below your CPA goal, you can increase up to 25% as a conservative number. Sometimes I'd be more aggressive with my methods. You may have watched my videos, the double up method, but typically for beginners, I am now advising you guys do the 25% method. Unless you are a gunslinger, then yes, you can use the double up method. But truly, I don't really recommend the double up method unless you are in my program, my mentorship Meta Ads at Scale, because I can guide you through how to scale insanely fast and help you not make any mistakes. So if you're interested in my mentorship Meta Ads at Scale, hit the link in the description. So let's dive back in and explore the next campaign, which is a retargeting campaign. Most e-com brand owners these days only run prospecting ads because Meta, Facebook does the retargeting for you. Yeah, I don't care. I want to hit people with maximum intensity, especially if they've added a cart, initiated checkout, or in my email list. I want to control how hard I hit them with ads, and I want to run up that frequency and drive that conversion, because a lot of these people just need a few ads to get them over the finish line, or they need 3-4 ads impressions. So if you're leaving that up to Meta, you're actually leaving a lot of money on the table. So I've never stopped running retargeting, and it has worked insanely well. One of my brands, I scaled them from 200K a month to 7 million a month, and retargeting, we spent like over $1 million plus, maybe even more on retargeting. So again, that's how powerful retargeting is. It is the real deal. It still works. And I see people on X talking about retargeting again. It's like, dude, I never stopped retargeting. So again, I'm a real one. I always keep it real. I don't follow the trends. The trends follow me, bruh. Okay. So talking about retargeting though, I don't recommend doing retargeting until you at least have like 5,000 site visitors in the last 30 days. If not, just keep running testing, keep running your winners campaign. But once you kind of hit that 5,000 mark, you can start your first retargeting campaign. At that point, I would keep it really simple. I'm about to show you a retargeting campaign that's a little bit more complex with multiple audiences. But if you are a brand new brand and just starting your journey and only have 5K plus visitors last month, then I'm gonna recommend a single ad set. But for this brand, they've actually been around a while, crushing it on organic. So they already have a decent list of people to retarget. And so we're gonna do a more, not super advanced, but a more advanced targeting with 3 ad sets. So I'm gonna bring you exactly through what those audiences are. I actually gotta build one of these audiences, which I'll show live as well. All right, so I'm gonna build this retargeting campaign now. So hit create, hit sales, obviously sales, US, retargeting. I call it evergreen. This is not a DPA. This is gonna be like regular ads. Highest volume. I like to do retargeting typically on CBO. So we'll do CBO, typically retargeting budget as well. You want it to be like, typically when you're a new brand, like 5 to 10% of your budget. You want to start small. This is super important to know that retargeting is working. It's got to be your best return on ad spend in your ad account. Meaning if it's a 2 ROAS, it better be a 3 ROAS minimum, or typically like a 4 or 5 ROAS. Retargeting should be the best return on ad spend in your ad account, hands down. If it's not, then you are doing it wrong. So again, campaign campaign budget. And for this brand specifically, we're spending like $100 a day. And so $25, 25 divided by 125, it's around 20%. So yeah, I would probably start retargeting probably around like $10 for this brand. And so I lied. We're actually just going to do a single ad set for this brand because we're not spending a lot. And then as I scale this brand, I'll probably make this retargeting a little bit more complex, but this is going to be pretty simple. So we're going to make sure this is a sales campaign, and we're just going to call this bottom of the funnel, all types of ads, bottom of the funnel. Bottom of the funnel really is going to encapsulate your past customers, your email list, add to carts 180s, initiate checkouts 180s. I even do search 180s. Also view content last 7 days, which is people have looked at your product the last 7 days. And also I typically do IG engagers 7 days, Facebook engagers 7 days. So that's what I consider bottom of the funnel. Typically I'll break out customers and I'll break out the email list in its own ad sets. Because the budget's so small, we're just gonna pack them all together. And then eventually we might break them out and let the algorithm kind of decide between the audiences. But for now, we're gonna pack it all together. Again, for most brands, this is how you should do it in the beginning, as your audiences are going to be pretty small. But as you grow, you can do more segmented retargeting. So we don't have all the audiences built, so I'm going to go in here and build out a few more audiences. As you can see, they don't even have any audiences in here. So we're going to create our first audience. We'll do add to cart 180. Like I mentioned, initiate checkout 180 days. We'll do search 180 days. Again, reason why I like search is because people who are searching, okay, this website doesn't have search, so we're not going to do search. We're also going to do view content. Well, right there, we'll do view content 7 days. And that's anyone who's viewed a product in the last 7 days. Then we're going to do an Instagram engagement audience, all engagers. So again, you're going to find the profile in 7 days. Again, why 7 days? Because past 7 days is, people aren't going to remember, anyone in the last 7 days, they're still kind of warm, are interested in you somewhat, while you're still giving it a wide, still some leash. But doing like a 30, a 60, a 365 day, I see a lot of people do this, and especially when I audit ad accounts, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? These always perform terrible. So yeah, last 7 days, because we want them to be still engaged. So IG engagers 7 days, and then we'll do Facebook engagers 7 days. Boom, boom, boom. We're also going to do purchase 180. Again, you can only max do 180. So again, this is pixel purchase. This audience is pretty weak, and I always recommend doing Klaviyo for your all customers list and your email on never purchase list, because these are the first party audiences are the best. So there we go. Boom, boom, boom. Purchase. Now we're going to dive into Klaviyo. I've already built these segments. So if you don't know, you got to build segments in Klaviyo. I built them here. All customers never purchased. And so you'll see the definition, what someone has done or not done, place order at least once over all time, and then I tag it meta audience. Same thing with never purchased, is they've placed an order 0 times over all time, right? Also, the next thing you do once you build this, you have to connect it to Meta. So you're gonna hit settings, integrations, connect. So again, this is a new brand. They haven't even connected to the Meta, so I'm gonna have to connect them right now. Bear with me. We're not gonna do lead ads, just custom audiences. Oh, shoot. So they're not letting me do it because I'm not an admin. So in any case, you would have basically these audiences would be ported, all customers that never purchased. Once you connect it to Facebook, they'll end up in this audience here. And so we would have the all customers and the never purchased in here. And then we would go back to our retargeting campaign. Oops. And then we're going to add all the audiences in here. So you're going to want to do further limit the reach of your ads, further limit. We want only to be targeting our retargeting audiences. So you're going to do custom audiences. They should populate in here. Facebook engagers, right? View content, initiate checkout, add to cart 180. Do not unclick. Use this as a suggestion. So again, this is pretty small. With the customers and the email list added in here, there should be like at least a few thousand people. That's what we want. We really want people sitting on the fence, especially for new brands. This should be like shooting fish in the barrel for you, your retargeting campaigns. Because again, that ROAS should be at least 2x to 3x your prospecting ROAS. And so that is going to give us 3 campaigns. So really this can get you to 100K easily. I've done it literally with a testing campaign, but all these we can get you literally to 100K, probably to your first 7-figure total revenue, literally with these 3 campaigns. It's doable. So now you've seen all 3 campaigns. Your testing campaign, you use it to find winners, pause out the losers. You obviously scale the winners in testing. Then you're gonna graduate them. They've won for at least 7 days and drop them into your Advantage Plus winners campaign. And then the retargeting campaign, again, gets everyone on the fence and pushes them over the finish line. This is one system. Creators flow from testing to scaling, and the traffic from scaling feeds into the retargeting campaign. And every single one of your dollars works harder when you have a good infrastructure in place like this, a full funnel experience for your users. But the key is discipline. Remember, 7 days at least for an ad to be a winner. 25% scaling increments. Your retargeting budget should be 5 to 10% max. And the system really only breaks when you get emotional, when you let an ad run longer than it should, right? Or you get too budget crazy and start doubling the budget multiple times a day, right? You gotta have discipline. And so people ask me all the time, Mason, how much time should I spend in Ads Manager? Really, you shouldn't spend that much time. Really, I recommend this optimization schedule. Optimize on Monday mornings, Friday mornings. You can also do late Sunday nights and late Thursday nights if you want to catch them before. The reason being, Mondays, you let them run, Monday through Thursday, and then you get your account ready, primed, and optimized for the weekend. So on Mondays, you optimize after the weekend, right? Get your ads and account ready for the week. Then you optimize Thursday night or Friday morning to get your ad account ready for the weekend. So at all times, you have your ad account primed, but you're not over optimized. You can test any day of the week though. Typically, I recommend tests to be launched on Mondays or also on Fridays again, so you have a good runway for them. For a lot of brands, weekends are best. Some brands, the week is best, right? So either way, recommend typically launching on Mondays or Fridays, and you're able to give them at least 3 to 4 full days. I typically ideally, a nice 7-day test is best. But again, if you hit 3x your CPA goal and spend and you don't have purchases, you're gonna have to pause your stuff out. You just watched me build 3 campaigns live from zero: the testing campaign, the Advantage Plus winners campaign, and also retargeting campaign. And remember, these 3 campaigns can get you to 6 figures. Now here's the thing, knowing this framework puts you ahead of 99% of e-commerce brand owners who are still guessing and burning all their cash. But it only works if you actually go and do it. And if you want me in your corner implementing this with you personally, click the first link in the description. That's where I work with you one-on-one to build this exact system inside your ad account and teach you it A to Z and teach you how to scale insanely fast and profitably. In the last 6 months, we took a brand from 0 to over 100K a month. And in February, they just hit their first 100K a month. So in September, they were doing under 10K, really lost, and they just hit their first 100K a month in February. So you could be next. So if you're a brand doing 10K a month, you're the perfect fit most likely for this program. Even brands doing 1 to 5K a month potentially could be a good fit as well. So don't forget, click the link in the description to apply, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.